Well, good morning, Abundant Life Living Community. It is I, Coach Tonya Bryant, owner of Abundant Life Living, where I coach women in teaching them really how to begin to transform their lives through learning how to shift their mindsets. I am so happy to be on. I want to welcome you all to my what I call a dose of encouragement, where I provide motivation, encouragement, and inspiration, really an empowerment to help you move forward to go live that abundant life. I'm super excited to be on. The last couple of weeks, I've been reading from my book, Becoming a Fear Overcomer, a guide for living an abundant life. And if you're wanting to purchase the book, you can go right underneath, well, it's scrolling underneath my name there on the little sign. You can go to my Linktree page and order the book. I'm just really excited for all of what's happening. I was on yesterday, yesterday, and my goal was to get to chapter 8, but I really just kind of started talking about all that's going on and just my whole campaign of know thyself, love thyself, heal thyself. And I really got caught up in that, in talking about the next in my life, the next in your life. If you um there's something stirring, right, in the atmosphere, and there's a lot of transition, a lot of change that's happening. And so I got caught up with talking about that, and just how important it is for you in this season to really know who you are, really learn to love who you are. And I believe when you know and you love yourself, you can truly heal yourself, you can truly become whole, because that we're here on this earth not to just exist, but each one of us has a purpose and has a destiny. Your destiny is really the reason that you exist, the reason that you're here on this earth. And so it is my belief that we should spend every waking moment of our life discovering who we are, so that we can fulfill that destiny and live the abundant life, the absolute fullness of life running over. And so I just got caught up in that, because I just sense a real shift, a real change. Of course, in my own life, just even as I have graduated with my MSW, and so I'm moving on to my next. I just believe, though, that it's not just about me, but there's something trans transpiring, if I can talk, in the atmosphere, and there's a shift in the change. And so I believe that you need to pivot, you need to do whatever you need to do, lean into this shift, lean into this change, because there's blessings on the other side, right? We don't, as humans, we don't like change. We like things to stay the way that they're designated. So we think in our mind. But what we have to realize is that we are in a constant um, movement of change. We're constantly, like right now, the earth is moving, right? If we were to be out in the atmosphere, in the space, we would see that the earth is slowly rotating. It doesn't stand still, it's slowly. So our earth is moving, so we're constantly changing. And so that's a part of our atmosphere, that's a part of us, or our body. We're constantly growing and developing and changing and morphing. And so it just seems kind of funny that we, though, as humans, don't like change. We want to stay in the status quo. But if we're going to advance and get the fullness, we've got to have this mindset, right? We've got to have this attitude and thoughts of constantly changing for the better. And so even as I'm talking about change, this today we actually are going to get into my book. Again, we are reading Becoming a Fear Overcomer, a guide for living an abundant life. We're on chapter 8, and the title of this chapter just happens to be in let me pull up um and let me just remove that. Just want I have that ready. It just so happens the title of this chapter is Fear and Change. And so, as I do with all of my chapters in my book, I always start with a quote, and that quote kind of guides us through the expectation or what we're going to encounter in that chapter. And so, this quote, let me go ahead and pull it up, comes from Janaea Cecilia, and she writes, "Do not fear the leaves changing, for it's leading to the best season of your life yet." And what I did, I went to my trusty AI assistant and I actually had them kind of, hopefully I didn't erase it. I had them kind of break down. I mean, I have an idea what it means, but I wanted to yesterday. Hmm. Let's see, is this it? Um, no. Hmm. So I guess today, hope I didn't do that there. I thought I liked what it said. I wonder if did I accidentally erase it. Balancing, let's see. Hmm. Okay. No, I thought I did. I'm sorry, but you know what? I could just do it live again and see what it comes life to full. Okay, so thank you for indulging me. Um, so this is what I'm going to do. I don't know if you all have been using Chat GPT, but I totally swear by it. It is an amazing tool that really just helps in so many components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new conversation. What's great is I can just articulate I need. So this is what I'm going to say. Please analyze or break down this quote. Don't fear the leaves changing, for it is leading to the best season of your life yet. This quote was by Janaea Cecilia. Please analyze and break this quote down as if I was in the fifth grade. Okay, so I spoke into my little um, kind of prompt area and asked it what it do. So I spoke into it and it actually wrote down everything that I said word for word. Now I'm gonna I clicked it, and so now it's breaking it down. And so we're gonna read it together to find out what it says. Okay. Oh wow, this is good. All right. So it says, sure. You know what? And let me go ahead and well, I'll leave it up. Sure, let's break down this quote in a way that a fifth grader can understand. Don't fear the leaves changing, for it's leading to the best season of your life. Janaea Cecilia. What does it mean? Don't fear the leaves changing. Think about how tree changes their leaves in the fall. They turn different colors and eventually fall off. This is a big change. And it might seem a little scary, but it looks so different from what we're you but it because it looks so different from what we're used to seeing. For it is leading to the best season of your life. So what it did, it broke it down into sections. Even though the leaves changing can seem scary, it's actually a good thing. It means that something wonderful is coming. Just look at how the trees look beautiful with new colors and how they get ready for new growth in the spring. Why is this important? This quote teaches us not to be afraid of changes. Changes can be very scary at first, but they can bring us into amazing new experiencing and parts of our lives. Examples to help you understand. And so remember, we asked it to talk to us as if we're in the fifth grade. So, school. Imagine you're starting a new school year. It can be scary because you have a new teacher, new classmates, new subjects to learn, but it also means you'll make new friends, learn new things, and have fun. Seasons. When winter ends and spring begins, it can be strange to see how the snow melting and the butterflies start growing. But spring brings warm weather, blooming flowers, and more time to play outside. The big idea: changes are a natural part of life. Just like the changing of the seasons, even if they seem a little scary at first, they often bring new and exciting things. Embracing change can lead to the best experiences in times in our lives. Wow. Now, that was in a matter of minutes. I'm telling you, folks, if you are not using Chat GPT, you want to utilize it. And I love this because it helps me to break it down. So it just broke down that whole quote, right? It is, and one of the things that I love about how um, why the quote is why it's important. This quote teaches us not to be afraid of changes, right? Not to be, and let me put it up really quick. Don't fear the leaves changing, for it's leading to the best season of your life. On the other side of that change, if you walk in that change, if you allow that change to happen, if you don't walk in fear in order to stop the change, on the other side of that change is the blessing that you've been waiting for. And so that's what it said. This quote teaches us not to be afraid of change. Change can be scary at first, but they can bring uh, changes can be scary at first, but they can bring us to amazing new experiences and parts of our lives. I love that. So so that's the preface for what we're talking about, fear and change. One of the biggest fears that we humans deal with is the fear of change. We fear change, although change is inevitable. For example, we know that every year the seasons change. Winter changes to spring, spring changes to summer, summer changes to fall, and finally, fall changes to winter. We are presented with constant change throughout our lives, from birth to adolescence, from adolescence to puberty to adulthood. Change always happens. We must embrace it. We must learn to lean into change instead of running away from it. What makes us so afraid of change? We are afraid of change because of the unknown that exists. We as humans want to know what's going to happen with our lives. We want assurance that all will be well. We want to control things. We think people would easily I think people would easily embrace change if they knew exactly what would happen. However, we cannot control change. We cannot, I'm sorry, control things. However, when we cannot control things, it can cultivate fear. Our mind tells us that we're afraid and cannot embrace change because there are too many unknown variables. That's just so powerful. Hold, please. I'm drinking a lot of water. Our mind tells us that we're afraid and cannot embrace change because there are too many unknown variables. So if we knew what would happen in change, we wouldn't have the problems that we have with change. But change don't work like that, right? In the seasons of change, Dr. Miles Monroe states everything is in a state of change and nothing can stop it. Point blank, period. He further adds, change is the principle of creation and the evidence of life. You know what? Let's see what ChatGPT says about this. In Dr. Miles Monroe, in Seasons of Change, he states, change is the principle of creation and the evidence of life. Please analyze what that means. Okay, let's see what our chat came up with. It's thinking. Well, while it's thinking, let me finish this last paragraph here. So think about it. Okay, why did that go? Nope. Okay. The wonders of technology. Let's see. What I'm going to do is it did everything. So let me copy that again. And then I'm going to put it in here. Paste it. Okay, now it's breaking it down. Sure. Let's break down what Dr. Miles Monroe means when he says change is the principle of creation and the evidence of life. What does it mean? Change is the principle of creation. So then what it does, it breaks down what principle and creation is. Principle, a fundamental truth or idea that serves as a foundation for a system or belief or behavior. Creation. Creation means making something new. So that part means that change is a basic important idea that makes new things possible. Without change, nothing new can be created. Point blank, period. We're wanting freshness. We're wanting something new in our life, but without change, it ain't gonna happen. Evidence of life. Evidence of life is something that shows or proves that something is true. Life is the state of being alive, growing, changing. This part means that change shows us that life is happening. If things are changing, that means we are alive and growing. Why is this important? The quote teaches us that change is a natural and an essential part of life. It is through change that new things come into existence and that life continues to grow and evolve. Big idea. Change is necessary for creating new things and for growth. It's a sign that life is active and moving forward. Without change, there would be no creation, and life would be stagnant and uninteresting. Embracing change helps us to grow, learn, and experience new and exciting things. Okay, powerful. I love what it said that change is a natural and essential part of life. It is through change that new things come into existence and that life continues to grow and evolve. Powerful, powerful. So let's keep reading. So he further changes the principle of creation and the evidence of life. Think about the process of a caterpillar growing into a beautiful butterfly. If the butterfly does not go through metamorphosis, it will not change. Just what the chat told us. But if you watch the process, especially if it's slowed down being filmed, you can see the gradual change. You can see life manifesting and evolving before your very eyes. You can see creation at its finest hour. Think about it. At the core of life is change. To change means to undergo a transformation or a transition. If we don't embrace the process of change, life can become stagnant, depressing, and stale, with people living a life of existing instead of living the Zoe life, the absolute fullness of life. However, to live the Zoe life, you must embrace the change process, right? We must embrace the change. And too many of us are fearful for change. Too many of us don't, we get stuck in our ways. I don't want to go back to school. I'm too old. Absolutely not. And so what you're saying is, I no longer want to grow. I no longer want to evolve. I believe a key reason people fear change is because of the process. The process is a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. The process can be hard, chaotic, and scary. The process requires taking action and sometimes moving in faith without knowing the final outcome. You might ask, what if I embrace this process and things get worse, or better yet, I fail? Although the question is very valid and real, I would counter and ask, what if you succeeded? If I were coaching you, I would challenge you to shift your mindset and change the narrative in your mind. If you think you're going to fail, then you're releasing that energy for that very thing to happen. I would also answer your question about failing by stating, well, you took action and moved forward to do something different, to advance your life. I would then ask, what did you learn to help you improve the next time you step out? Life is about taking risks. Whether we accept it or not, life is not promised. We must live our life to the fullest, and that only happens by embracing change. If we fully embrace the change, we can begin to confront those fears that are preventing us from moving forward to our God given destinies. We must learn to embrace change to live the life we were destined to live. The next chapter will provide you with practical steps to confront and deal with your fears. We are done with chapter 8. Powerful, powerful. If I must say so myself. What's so exciting is ChatGPT didn't exist, but much of what I said in this in my book is what ChatGPT was saying. And so I want to encourage you to download Chat. You can download it for free. There is an upgraded version that gives you so much more. I'm telling you, technology is where it's at. You don't want to get lost. So again, that was ChatGTP 4.0, 4.0. They just updated a new version of it. But you have to embrace change. Don't allow fear. Don't allow that distressing emotion aroused by impending danger, evil, pain, or threat, whether real or imagined, to stop you from embracing the abundance of life, from embracing your destiny. I want to thank you so much for joining me for a dose of encouragement where we read from Becoming a Fear Overcomer, chapter 8, Fear and Change. What are you? Oh, and before I was going to go on, so let me pull up my PowerPoint here. So we talked about the quote. And so these are some of the key points from the chapter. We fear change, although change is inevitable. We are afraid of change because the unknown that presents itself. Change is the principle of creation and the evidence of life. We don't embrace change, we don't embrace life. Process is a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. These are key points in the chapter. I want to leave you with these questions for growth. How do you deal with change in your life? I want you to think about that journal in your book. What areas in your life do you need to change and why? What change process are you experiencing in your life today? So those are 3 questions for growth because, as you know, I'm not just on here to talk just to talk because I like hearing myself talk, but I want to provide you with some tools, some strategies to help you become that fear overcomer. Again, if you want to order my book, you just go to my link tree, which is scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. It's only $20. I encourage you, invest in yourself, become a fear overcomer today. I want to thank you so much for joining. I will be on next week. We're going to be on my last chapter in the book. That chapter is a very much how-to chapter. So I'll probably be splitting that into either 2 or 3 sections. But join me next week around Monday-ish, around 7-ish, 30-ish, 8-ish, 30, around that time. And for a dose of encouragement as we come to the end of my book. Again, you can order it. It's scrolling across the bottom of my screen, Becoming a Fear Overcomer. Go to my link tree and you can order it. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll be talking to you soon and see you on these social media streets. Bye now.